On Wales this week, her husband and her son were killed crossing this road near Llantrisant. Tonight, Anna-Louise Bates tells us why she doesn't want retribution for the driver.
Nothing is going to bring my boys back. And to dwell on the tragic accident is to discount the positiveness of my boys.
3, 2, 1!
And trying to turn tragedy into something positive, the legacy Anna-Louise wants to create in their memory.
I'm not surprised by the fabulous job that she's done recently. That's Anna all over.
I was, I guess, inspired by her and what she's achieved since this terrible tragedy.
Everything she's done in the last 6 months is amazing, and I know she's made a difference.
Okay, ready? You ready?
On your marks, get set, go!
These are the moments that made their family life.
It was Fun Day Monday, Stews Day Tuesday, Hump Day Wednesday, Hers Day Thursday, a Fraser Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday were fun days anyway. And that's what we did. We lived every day. We packed everything into every moment.
Champions, champions, we're up our heads.
Yeah, it was a fantastic time.
Yes!
Anna-Louise and her husband Stuart were living in Cardiff with their 2 children, Fraser, who was also known as Bear, and Elizabeth. The couple had been together for 12 years, and life was pretty perfect.
I met Stewie outside a bar in Dublin. And from the point that I met him, he asked me where I wanted to go on our honeymoon. And he lived in Birmingham, I lived in Cardiff, and I thought, there's no way. And from that moment, we fell utterly in love. I used to call him my Mr. Wonderful, and he used to call me Mrs. Wonderful. And it really was a love story.
How were Stuart and Fraser together? What was their relationship like?
Fraser just looked up to his daddy so much. And he would just want to make his daddy so proud of him. But I don't think he really realised how much he was so proud of him. Fraser, we all enjoyed our singing and our musical. And to see Fraser doing anything with his daddy in the relationship, it was just mind-blowing.
Come on to the balancing crocodiles. The streaker has departed the studio, so Elizabeth is in eating Peppa Pig lollies. It's good news. Fraser's no mistakes yet. Is it commentator's curse, Cammy? Well, I don't know, Jeff. Look at this. Here he goes. Oh, is it? Oh, he's just made it. Oh, Cammy, it's amazing. He's done it.
Their bond was just phenomenal. To be honest, I think that's sometimes what gets me through, is to know that Stewie is still looking after Fraser.
I can only imagine how difficult it is to talk about the day that it happened. But can you describe to me what sort of day it was, the day that you lost them?
I'd like to say it was an unusual day, but it was totally typical of us as a family and just jam-packed. Fraser went to play football, and Stewie was Father Christmas at the school fair, and I was his elf. Fraser was there playing football in the schoolyard. He didn't realise Daddy was Father Christmas, bless him. He thought he was in work. And even when he came in, he still didn't know that Stewie was Father Christmas. And then from that, we rushed to go over to another Christmas jumper party where again, Stu was Father Christmas. And we decided that night, 'cause we're there as a family, to stay, obviously, at a friend's house. And then walking back, obviously, the accident happened.
The family had left the party shortly after midnight. As they crossed the main road on the outskirts of Llantrisant, Stuart and Fraser were hit by a car.
To have and to be there with the two of the three of the most important people in your lives, there, and being unable to help either of them was so hard. It was especially difficult because the boys were so far apart. And I'll never forget running between the two and not knowing who I should be with.
Stuart died shortly after the accident, and Fraser died later in hospital. The driver, 22-year-old Joshua Staples, has since been jailed for 16 months for causing death by careless driving.
What's your feeling towards the driver?
I'll be honest, I have no feeling. I have absolutely no feeling at all. Since day one, I've never sought any retribution against the driver because nothing is going to bring my boys back. And to dwell on the tragic accident is to discount the positiveness of my boys.
There's lots of people, though, that won't be able to grasp where you get your courage and your bravery and your positivity from. How do you do it?
I'll be honest. I get up every morning and I breathe. And I look at my little girl and I hug her. Like the boys would hug me every morning and Elizabeth every morning. And I get through that day. And every day that I can do that and I can carry on remembering the boys and everybody else, that gets me through it.
I think you can do it. Good girl.
Everywhere is difficult to go. Everywhere in Cardiff. I can't walk down a street or around a corner without there being memories. And all we got to do is smile at those memories. You're holding on. Now, there we go. See if we can do it. Yay! Yeah, I am. Whee! Elizabeth and I always had a really close bond anyway, as Fraser and I had. We all had.
Okay, you can be 5 next birthday, or do you want to pretend 5 today?
And now obviously it's just us two left. It's important for me to just carry on the bond to ensure that she gets the stability and the love that her dad and her brother just gave to her unconditionally. So now I've got to try and do that threefold.
No!
Elizabeth!
Mama!
Elizabeth, I love you.
I love you too.
Love you more. She's so much like her dad, so much like her brother. And that all intertwined, it helps me feel like, in a way, I've still got someone to focus on. She's the reason I get up in the morning, and she's the product of a loving family, and that's why this is so important. She's my superstar.
When Stuart and Fraser were killed, Anna-Louise decided to donate their organs. The family had discussed the issue not long before the accident, and Anna-Louise knew her husband's wishes.
It's a really, really tricky conversation, and it's really hard to think about, but thank goodness we were so open, because unfortunately this isn't something we can shelter our children from or shelter us adults from. And by getting everybody talking, you're getting rid of the taboo. It shouldn't be a taboo. This is about a gift that can keep on giving to all those that are concerned.
Fraser's organs went on to save 4 lives. Anna-Louise is now spreading the word about organ donation through a new charity, Believe.
All I'm trying to do with the charity is to encourage those conversations, and that is what gives me the strength.
Coming up, creating a positive legacy. How Anna-Louise wants the world to remember her husband and son.
We're doing okay. The boys, I feel like the boys would be proud.
It's a day of fundraising and awareness raising for Anna-Louise Bates's charity, Believe.
Today there's a 5K run that's taking place in Rada Comp. It's a brilliant day. It's hard, really hard, but it's given us the right focus.
The charity was set up to promote and support organ donation. When Anna-Louise's husband Stuart and her son Fraser were both killed in a car accident just before Christmas, she knew exactly what her husband's wishes were.
And you had had that conversation?
I wouldn't call it a conversation. If you knew my husband, it was a bit more of a Stewie bossiness. And Stu had actually gone and opted in. So the conversation had arisen around a dinner table with my parents, with them saying, "Why did you opt in? We're just about to become opt-out in Wales." And he was there quite heated, going, "Well, that's ridiculous. Why have I just opted in? Why do I not know anything about the opt-out?" And that's how we'd had the conversation, because from that, I then said, "Ooh, I don't know about organ donation." And I'll be honest, that's exactly how I did feel. And Stu was going, "Well, no, it's no use to me. This is ridiculous. Why are we even having this conversation?" So that's why I knew what his views were.
We now have a new system which makes it easier for everyone who lives in Wales to become an organ donor.
Last year, Wales became the first country in the UK to bring in an opt-out rather than an opt-in system of organ donation.
And the laws, as you say, have changed in Wales. For you, it sounds like it's very much about having that conversation still, though.
That's right. Well, I think one of the things that I was initially shocked about was the fact that even though Stuart opted in, I could still override his decision as being next of kin. Now, if with the opt-out now, I think it's even more important to encourage that conversation, because you don't know if somebody hasn't opted out because they can't be bothered or because they really want to opt in.
3, 2, 1.
The charity started shortly after Stuart and Fraser's deaths, after donations to the family's online fundraising page reached £40,000, and much of the fundraising has a sporting theme.
Oh, well, Stewie made me do cycle rides for charity that I never thought I'd do before. But I noticed that there was a Christmas present for me from Stu, already wrapped. And he told me how excited he was about this Christmas present before. And I opened it on my own on Christmas Day. And it was actually a Fitbit watch. And because I was 40 in February, I told him I'd really like to push myself. And instead of going on a bike, I'd really like to run a marathon. So I took that as the sign that he wanted me to do and carry on pushing myself to kind of live life to the max and to the full that we used to before.
And that positive ethos is much admired by her friends, family, and some well-known faces.
We met, I guess, a couple of months ago, and I was, I guess, inspired by her and what she's achieved since this terrible tragedy. It was a horrific thing that happened to her, and a terrible tragedy. And she's turned it into something so positive.
I'm not surprised by the fabulous job that she's done recently. That's Anna all over. She does have a marvellous family to support her. And yeah, I'm stunned and I find it awesome what she's done in the wake of such a terrible tragedy, but she's done an amazing job.
And for those families who've received an organ donation, events like these are a chance to say thank you.
I just think she's the most incredible lady from the most amazing family. I think there's just so much love, hope and inspiration in that family, which is one of the reasons why I contacted her, because we can never say thank you enough for Emily's donor. It's just incredible what they've given us. I mean, they've given us the world, to be honest. And so for me to be able to speak to Anna and just tell her that, really, I know it's not going to make a difference for her, but just so that she knows everything she's done in the last 6 months is amazing, and I know she's made a difference.
I was running the World Half that I said, I put on Facebook one night something like, oh, we're going to meet Mo Farah. So he's got the Mo bot, so we need a believe stance. And at that point, it was like, and somebody said to me, but you've already got one. And I was like, where? And she was like, Fraser, last year. One of my favourite photos, and I kept on posting it, was we were on a cruise last year and we went to the new camp. And Fraser, at the top of the tunnel, he did this stance. And it was with so much passion that I was like, of course, Fraser, the believe stance, it all really connects. So from that point then, I suddenly thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we could get people to do the believe stance?
Thank you to every single person that's come today to support Elizabeth, myself, and all of us as a family to remember our boys. When Elizabeth and I were walking up that hill, she turned to us and she said, Mummy, this is Believe, and this is what we made for Daddy and for Fraser. And I think that's what sums it up.
So many cherished memories and the creation of new ones.
Happy birthday, dear Elizabeth. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I think somebody wants... They can be your toys.
There's been a lot of attention in the news and in the headlines over what's happened. What's it like away from the headlines, away from the challenges, away from the charity, for you personally, when you're here at home with your daughter and you haven't got those distractions?
Those are the hardest times. Without the distractions, it's really tough. It's too quiet. The house was always full of noise. It's lonely. It's trying to make every day go like pass, whereas every day used to be special. And I've got to try for Elizabeth and for me to try and continue that.
And again. You win. Another big cake. When things are hard, the support and the love that the boys gave me when they were alive, they're still managing to do with the support that everyone's sending our way now. And it just makes me feel so blessed and so lucky to have had them in my lives and to have this support now still coming towards us to help us. It's been one of the most difficult weeks for me. And I think until this week I haven't really had time to step back and reflect on the whirlwind that's been the last 7 months. And this week it's really made me look and think, we're doing okay. The boys, I feel like the boys would be proud of Elizabeth and me and all our family and friends that are managing to support us so well.
What's next then for you and Elizabeth?
What's next? We're going to enjoy the summer holidays together. We're going to go away. We're going to take some time out just for her and I to remember the boys, to be able to grieve, to be able to laugh maybe, just maybe a couple of times, and then get ready for her starting school in September, to get ready for Daddy's birthday, for Fraser's birthday, and to get ready then to give us the hope and the strength to get through December and another Christmas.